Okay, so I have my foldable folded up, and today I'm just going to work on addition and subtraction of integers. So on the left side, I'm going to talk about adding integers. So we know our rules now. Same signs, add and keep the sign. Different signs, subtract and take the sign of the larger absolute value. Here are some examples. -2 plus -10, same signs, add and keep. So you would get -12. 5 plus -2, those are different signs, so I subtract. The larger absolute value is +5, so my answer is positive. I have -11 plus 8, subtract once again, they're different signs. The larger absolute value is 11, so my sign will be negative. 5 plus 7, both positive, so that's 12. -9 plus -1, both negative, so my sign would be negative. I add, and that would be -10. So for my subtracting integers, I'm going to open it up. My rule tells me to change to an addition problem, then follow the addition rules. So if I have -8 minus -2, to change that to addition, I'm going to keep the first number, change subtraction to addition, and then write the opposite. Okay? Now be careful when you have more than two numbers. This is just when you have two numbers. So I have -8 minus -2. I'm going to make that -8 plus +2. So I changed to addition and then I wrote the opposite. Or you can just write it as -8 plus 2 because now it's understood that's positive and you don't always have to write the positive out. So -8 plus 2. My rule, now that I have addition, subtract, take the sign of the larger absolute value. So I'm going to subtract 2 from 8. 8 has a larger absolute value, so my sign will be negative. I have -9 minus 5. I'm going to keep the first number 9, change subtraction to addition, and then write the -5. So I'm going to have -14. I have 2 minus 7. I can write this as 2 plus -7. Okay, keep the first number, change to addition. This +7 now becomes a -7. Subtract. The sign of the larger absolute value is the 7, which is negative, so it would be -5. Then I have 2 minus -9. I can write this as 2 plus +9 or just 2 plus 9, which would give me 11. Another way that I can represent these subtraction problems, I could use my counter chips. I could have 2 negative counter chips or 2 red chips, and I'm going to take away a red chip. I'm taking away a negative. I take that away, I'm left with just 1 negative, so that would equal -1. Okay? That's going to show you how you rewrite it to -2 plus 1. -2 plus 1 gives you -1. Okay? So you can use the chips. You can think back to the hot air balloon that we did in class. When you add sandbags, you go down, and when you remove sandbags, you go up. So this -2 is going to get more positive because we're removing a negative. So it's going to get closer to the 0. Okay? Let me show you one where you're going to have to add some 0 pairs. Let's say I have -1 minus 6. Here's my -1 counter. I've got to take 6 negatives away, but I only have 1 negative. So I have to come up with 6 more negatives. And the way I can do that is I can create some 0 pairs. Remember, 0 pairs, a negative and a positive are going to cancel each other out, and they won't change. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and make myself 5 0 pairs here. So now I'm going to take away 6 negatives. So I'm going to take this negative, this one, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm left with 5 positives. Okay? -1 minus -6 is +5. I can also use my rule -1, keep, change to addition, and rewrite the sign as positive. So -1 plus 6. If I'm at -1 on the number line and I go to the right 6, I'll be at +5. Or different signs. Subtract, take the sign of the larger absolute value. In this case, the larger absolute value is a 5.